This is super ballsy. On the following turn, I can just go Trick Room and Protect. They are Terra Dark Scarlet. They do make themselves weak to Hatterene though, so that's fine. I don't really mind them doing this. How you doing, everyone? It's Matt Manetric here, and we're back in the Battle Stadium for some more battles. And today we're using a team that I co-built with a team building partner. And I used it to win a tournament. My co-building partner actually finished third in the tournament because I beat him in the semi-finals. I'll leave his links in the description. And yeah, it's really cool. We actually had slight variation in our teams. Mainly the Crocodile slot, he had a Fluttermane instead. But yeah, I used this team in this tournament, 59 players in total. I went 5-1 in Swiss, and the player I lost to in Swiss, I ended up beating in the final. There is a link to the final video in the description, and I recommend you check it out. And if it's not out already, you can see my whole tournament run on YouTube. It will either be out now, or it will be out in the next couple of days, so keep your eye out for it. I used Crocodile in the semi-final, if that's what you wanted to see. So, how does the team work? Well, we have Armrouge and Hatterene there to set up Trick Room. Indeedy's there to set the support. You then kind of, once Trick Room's up, use King Gambit, Torkoal, Hatterene, Armrouge, whatever you have in the back, to kind of try and clean out as much of your opponent's team as possible. I've said it in the video but later on, but I also just want to say now, this team is much easier to use in open team sheets because you can see where the protects are, and you need to make the most out of Trick Room as possible because this team, if you couldn't tell, is very hard Trick Room. Crocodile is there for the Sand, the Imprisoned Farigarath, and the Mirror Match. You basically don't bring it to any other games. It's the only reason it's there, but it's a cool Pokemon to have in the team as well. Now, I won't be giving out a rental code for this because I don't want to release the stats because we're still tweaking the team, and I don't know if I want to take this team to a major tournament yet, and I don't want all the spreads to be out there. The spreads aren't all really quite basic, so there are some very specific ones, so... But you're free to take the team and use it on like Showdown stuff or build it yourself in-game. You can use... I'll put a poker face in the description of essentially what the open team sheet would have been. So the team but without the EVs and stat information. But yeah, it's a really, really cool team. And let's just jump into it. Okay guys, so into our first game of the day. It is Talonflame, Iron Bundle, Brute Bonnet, Golden Go. We have the Great Tusk and the Dragonite. So most of the time when you see a Dragonite, it usually leads into this team because what it will do is it will Ice Spinner to get away or to get rid of the Psychic Terrain, right? And that heavily reduces Armrouge's damage output. But our way around that is simply to lead Hatterene. And the reason why that works so well is because I'm then not relying on Expanding Force, and I can actually just click Dazzling Gleam into whatever he's got. This lead does kind of... It is a little bit awkward if we see the Golden Go pop out. So I can bring King Gambit in the back as well. And if we do see Golden Go, I can Terrestrialize Hatterene into a Water type, so to make sure that we're not weak to the Steel type, make it rain. Now it's time for our last slot, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of thinking Torkoal. Like, you remove the Dragonite and Torkoal kind of just goes ham. We've got two Pokemon with Trick Room, so that's cool. King Gambit covers for... Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I usually do like to bring Armrouge, and maybe Armrouge is the better option here, but I like the idea of just bringing in Torkoal and being able to spam Eruption. There's no potential Wide Guard Pokemon in there either. There's nothing... the slowest Pokemon on that team is going to be the Bundle. Not the Bundle, sorry. Bundle's really fast. The Great Tusk. But, not Great Tusk. Brute Bonnet. English, Matt, English, come on! Is the Brute Bonnet. But sometimes on these Talonflame teams, people run fast Brute Bonnets. And that's just so that it can go fast under Tailwind and get early Spores off. Or get very fast Spores off anyway. But it'll be interesting to see how my opponent plays this. This is absolutely fine. This is absolutely fine. We simply click Follow Me and Trick Room. And the great thing about this is that they've left with two things weak to Fairy. Not only that, it's because we have Magic Bounce and Sleep... Magic Bounce and Safety Goggles. I'm trying to think of the word. Safety Goggles, he cannot click Spore. So we simply just go Trick Room and Follow Me. He may end up going Headlong Rush plus Crunch into Indeedee. And if Indeedee faints this turn, it's absolutely fine. I just bring in Torkoal for free. And Hatterene and Torkoal just go ham the rest of the game because they have no switches in for it. So it looks like they're going to Terrestrialize the Great Tusk, which is totally fair. I can totally understand why you would do that. because you don't want to be weak to Fairy, and you want more power on your likely Earthquake, which of course means that they will avoid the Follow Me. But that shouldn't take a Hatterene. Hatterene's pretty bulky. Yeah, it doesn't even come close. And of course they go for the Spore, but it goes into the safety goggles, so happy, happy days, and we are able to get the Trick Room off. So I think here, I'm actually going to go Psychic into Psychic. In fact, yeah, we'll go Psychic into Psychic. He could Protect. He ends up going Sucker Punch, but of course we're in Psychic terrain. But by far the biggest threat on the field right now is the Great Tusk, and I want to make sure we take it out. I actually could have followed up with a Dazzling Gleam here, just to get a bit of super effective damage off into the Brute Bonnet, but it's fine, we just follow up with the Psychic, just to make sure we take it down. And if you don't know, this thing's special defense is really, really low. It's like 40 something, really low, so a lot of people are running Sash at the moment. If you run Assault Vest on it, like, you can, but you're going to be getting special defense drops with Headlong Rush in close combat, so there's not much point, so people just run Sash. Yeah, we're in a great position now, right? So my opponent brings in the Dragonite. This might be where they click the spinning move. I click Dazzling Gleam and Follow Me. If we kind of want Indeedee to go down, like, we kind of do. But we're going to get a nice super effective Dazzling Gleam up here. Not quite enough to take out the Brute Bonnet, unfortunately. He ends up going Bullet Seed, which, if he gets a crit, if this is loaded die, which it very well may be, then it's guaranteed to hit 4 times, which will be enough to take it Indeedee after that critical hit. And I wonder if we see an Ice Spin here, which is fine if we do, right? Because the Dazzling Gleam has probably put the Dragonite in range of an Eruption. No, they end up actually going for Iron Head, which is totally fine. Yeah, okay, we're down on the Pokemon count, but it's fine. We bring in the Kingambit. Also, Kingambit has Sucker Punch for the late game, which works out amazing for us. Brute Bonnet always thanks to an Earth Power here. Earth Power, Eruption. I'm just getting everything wrong in this video, apparently. We're getting nothing right. And as Dragonite are quite commonly Assault Vest, I would very much like to double up into it. With Psychic Terrain up, he cannot Sucker Punch still, which is fantastic. We have 2 turns of Trick Room remaining. So we're going to go for the Kowtow Cleave, plus the... Oh, we can actually go Fire-type Eruption here. I'm not going to do that because I don't think I need to do that. But it's certainly an option. He goes Rage Powder, which is completely irrelevant, because the Eruption is going to take it out beforehand. So a little bit of chip into the Dragonite, which is great. Really hoping that the Kowtow Cleave can do enough damage here, because Dragonite do often run low kick, and I'm starting to wonder if I should have Terrestrialized Torkoal. It's not enough! It's put in the most tiny, tiny bits of HP. Earthquake here, not going to do half to either. But the fact it's running Earthquake, it has to be Assault Vest. And, yeah, it has to be. We see the booster energy on the bundle here. Bundle probably clicks Protect. And we still have 1 turn of Trick Room left, so... The play here is simply Kowtow Cleave and Eruption. If he has Protect, we're in trouble. If he has Protect in the Dragonite, I mean, we're in trouble. If he doesn't, then we should be fine. He doesn't, which is great. Eruption should take out this... Dragonite, and we should be in a pretty decent situation now. So here, in order to not risk taking a Hydro Pump from the Iron Bundle, I'm going to Terrestrialize Kingambit into the Grass type. He has no idea what Terror I am, so this is obviously best of 1, and we have no team sheets to refer to. So here, it's pretty simple for me just to click Terror, Kowtow Cleave, followed up by the Flamethrower. I actually wonder if I should have clicked Protect here. The only way clicking Protect here isn't a bad choice is if they go, like, Freeze Dry into my Kingambit, but that would be so unlikely that they did that. But we should be fine here just to finish this game off. And it's against these types of, like, good stuff teams, or, like, yeah, they end up Hydro. I should have clicked Protect, but it's fine. Where this team really kind of runs rampant, because my opponent just could not stop me setting up Trick Room, and the moment Trick Room goes up, like, I always had the advantage, I always had all the offensive pressure. that should just put him into Sucker Punch range. And that should be the game. Protect was really safe there, actually. If I go Protect, they'll actually just win the game, because then on the following turn I can just go Kowtow Cleave or Flamethrower, and both of them will take out the Iron Bundle. So Protect was absolutely the better play, but it's alright. Because Sucker Punch should finish this thing off. Should. Unless we get a ridiculously low roll. Fantastic. Way to go, King Gambit. And quite often that is how you wrap up games with this team. Trick Room goes down, and you've just got King Gambit there to finish off the remaining pieces of your opponent's team with the Sucker Punch. And it worked really well. The game went perfectly to plan. We got the Trick Room up. We removed the big threats. The only thing left on the field after Trick Room was gone was that bundle, and King Gambit dealt with it. Let's jump into game 2. Okay, so here we have a team that is running around at the moment. It is the Dondozo Tatsugiri with the King Gambit, the Fluttermane, Glamora, and the Iron Moth. In this situation, I'm very happy to go Indeedee Armory. Dondozo teams can be a little bit of an awkward matchup because you don't know what Terror they are, so... Now, Torkoal does have Clear Smog, so, you know, we can Clear Smog it to reduce its stats, but if it's Terror Steel, then it will become immune to the Clear Smog. But most people don't expect Clear Smog on Torkoal, so that should make it easier in a closed team sheet situation. The last Pokemon here has to be Hatterene, I think. You've got Torkoal plus Armarouge there to deal with the King Gambit, and then Hatterene can hit the rest of everything else pretty hard. I could also bring my own King Gambit. Actually, King Gambit's really good here. 2 Psychic types to deal with the Iron Moth, and then King Gambit. It's a toss up here. This is kind of like down to your own thing. I think I'm going to end up going with King Gambit. My King Gambit is like min speed, so I can actually just underspeed their King Gambit and knock it out with a low kick. But also King Gambit lets me go to an end game against Fluttermane, like if Trick Room finishes, so there's a couple of reasons of why I would want to do this. We have 2 Pokemon in the back to deal with the opponent's King Gambit as well, though, so this is kind of a toss-up. This is a Sludge Wave plus either Heat Wave or Sludge Wave situation. Also, they could Power Gem, but here, Follow Me plus Trick Room is very, very safe. It's very, very safe. We should be absolutely fine here. If they can't Heat Wave because of Flash Fire, they can double Sludge Wave, but they will hit each other. And they're also really weak to Poison, so I can actually go Expanding Force if I want to, so on the following turn. So it puts them under a lot of pressure. So Follow Me, Trick Room, safest thing you'll ever see. I don't need to, unless they're like, no, there's no Earthquakes happening here, so we don't need to go Terra Ground or anything. And immediately we put our opponent under, like, serious pressure, because they're like, oh, how do I stop this Trick Room? Unless one of them's got Sub. Like, if the Iron Moth is Sub, that would be really, really annoying. But I don't even think it would matter that much, because on the next turn I would just go Expanding Force, break the Sub, follow up with a Psychic into the Iron Moth, and we should be fine. I'm not even sure Iron Moth can really do anything to it. He ends up Terastallizing, which is a really interesting thing to do. Why are you Terastallizing? What are you becoming? Grass type? Ground type? So you oh, you get Earth Power, don't you? So this looks like it's going to be Earth Power plus Sludge Wave, is my guess, which is absolutely fine as far as I'm concerned. Here we go. Oh, it's Acid Spray. I mean, if you want to take out my Indeedee, that is totally fine by me. If you want to take out Indeedee here, that is cool. Down we go. Okay, that is fine. We set Trick Room, we bring in Torkoal, and now we absolutely annihilate this duo. They may choose to go for, like, Spiky Shield and Protect on the next turn, which is fine, because on the following turn, we just end them, and then Torkoal is all set up to click Clear Smog on the Dondozo Tatsugiri, so this is absolutely fine. We do not mind this whatsoever. We have so much offensive pressure right now. We simply just click Eruption plus Expanding Force. There's really nothing my opponent can do. I don't think either of these Pokemon get Wide Guard. And my opponent now needs to make some plays because they are in all kinds of a difficult situation. It is going to be the Spiky Shield, and I presume the Protect as well. Of course. And it's like, alright, well, what do you want to do now? Because I'm just going to hit you with the same thing. So, and basically we just want to cause as much damage with this duo on the field as much as possible to my opponent's team. And if it ends up being Dondozo and Tatsugiri in the back, then we should have this game down. We should be fine. This game could be a little bit awkward if they get lucky with their protects. But that is, again, the odds would be in our favour in that situation. So we'll go Eruption plus Expanding Force. So they're going to be withdrawing the Glamora. This might be the Dondozo. Let's see. It is the Dondozo. Do we see the Tatsugiri? We do see the Tatsugiri. Well, I presume this is going to be Tatsugiri. It is going to be... There it is. So Dondozo is now going to take this this Clear Smog... this Eruption plus the Expanding Force. This will do considerable damage. Like, it will do a lot of damage here. Well, I have to say my opponent switching out now is a little bit awkward for me because of the back situation. So I actually need to try and get myself into a situation where I can reset Trick Room. Okay, this is good. This is very good. And here we just go... So he should protect here. So we'll threaten the Clear Smog. And what I'm going to do is... I'll Terrastalize Armourouge, I think. And I'm going to undo Trick Room so it comes undone a turn early. And if we might see an Earthquake, we might see a Wave Crash, I'm not too sure. Honestly, King Gambit wasn't a great choice in the back looking at it. I would have much preferred Hatterene. But this is the way it goes. Sucker Punch might end up winning me the game though. So he does protect, that's totally fine. Although actually I can't Clear Smog next turn. But no, this is still fine. Because I just protect in Trick Room and then I'll just Clear Smog on the following turn. So this is okay. We go Clear Smog. Do I go Clear Smog here? No, I'll protect with Torkoal. No, do you know what? I will. He might just take Earthquake, but I'm gonna go. We'll go for that Clear Smog, and we'll go for the. We'll go for that Trick Room. He just click Earthquake. I would expect Torkoal to live this, to be honest, quite comfortably. Yeah, there we go. Happy days. We get the Clear Smog off. I no longer have access to Eruption, but honestly, Flamethrower might just do it. We shall see. The leftovers is annoying, because it probably takes him out of the Flamethrower range, especially if Sun's about to go down. My question is, do I want to switch out Armourouge at any point, and whether or not I want to go into King Gambit here? I'm trying to see. The thing with like the protect timings, it's kind of annoying. Like, my opponent's timed the Dondozo switch in really well so that he could stall out that protect, and now he's able to waste another like couple turns of my Trick Room, and I don't think Flamethrower is quite going to do enough. I possibly should have just clicked protect on that last turn, but yeah, especially with this going down now. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch out Torkoal just to try and get a bit more pressure on with King Gambit than Torkoal, and we'll just go for Psychic into the Dondozo. Psychic should take it out. It's got no special defense boosts, so. But he should feel fairly comfortable, right? Because he'll know that Flamethrower is not going to do enough. He'll know that Armourouge would be taking out the Dondozo. He gets Tatsugiri on the field without taking any damage. But that's kind of why I'm making this switch. So on the next turn, I'm not relying on Torkoal. And I can use King Gambit instead. King Gambit obviously has the Sucker Punch as well. But my opponent really just has to time his attacks right. When King Gambit hits the field. We go for Psychic. That should be a knockout. It is. So Tatsugiri is going to hit the field now. And we should see probably Iron Moth would be my guess. Now Kowtow Cleave, I would expect to knock out Tatsugiri. So, I mean, it might be Glamora, right? It could be Glamora. I just wouldn't expect it to be. But I don't think Tatsugiri would live a Kowtow Cleave because it's got very low defense and HP. But we don't know what the set is, and I fully expect a Spiky Shield here. Like, Spiky Shield is so obvious. So what we're going to do is double up into the Tatsugiri, because Tatsugiri might be Focus Sashed, it might not have Protect. So what we'll do is we'll double up into the Tatsugiri. The Glamora hopefully clicks Spiky Shield. We take out the Tatsugiri, and then we double up into the Glamora on the following turn. That's kind of my hope, but my opponent might need to go on the offensive here. They do go for the Spiky Shield. Now, do they have Protect on Tatsugiri? That is the question. They don't! We do make the correct call. We go for the Kowtow Cleave. It's actually not enough to take out the Tatsugiri, but we make the right call. Go for the Psychic into the Tatsugiri as well, just to make sure we take that important knockout. And now we can go for the double up into... we can go for the double up into the Glamora. I think my opponent here is probably relying on the double Protect. There's one turn of Trick Room left. So, I think my opponent... I think their play is actually to click... probably to click Heat Wave and let Armarouge take the hit. I'm going to go... We're going to double up into the Glamora. It's really obvious here, actually, for me to do this, so I probably should be going for Psychic into the Iron Moth. But we're going to see what kind of a player my opponent is. Do they... they have to attack, actually. I should be going for Psychic into Iron Moth. I really should be. This is probably an error. Yeah. This is probably an error, and they should Heat Wave. If they Sludge Wave, then that's a big mistake. They actually have, obviously, the Toxic Debris. Let's see what they choose to go for. They should Heat Wave, as I say. They should Heat Wave here. I don't think we've taken any damage on Kingambit, though, so maybe we can take 2 Heat Waves. They do go for the right move. They do choose to Heat Wave. Kingambit does take it, so we can Sucker Punch on the next turn. And also, Iron Moth's defense is really low, so I wonder if a Sucker Punch would do enough to take it out. I'm going to try and Trick Room. And they forfeit. There we go. So even though I feel like I made a couple of mistakes in that game, the team still had enough offensive pressure on it, and obviously we made the right calls with the Protect. But the team still had enough offense to put so much pressure on my opponent, and the advantage of running a really hard-hitting, hyper-offensive team is that when you're going first, you put your opponent in difficult situations where they kind of feel like they have to protect. He needed to keep the Glamora around, so he went for the Protect because he knew he needed Glamora plus Iron Moth to be able to stand any chance of winning. But so they was like, you know, I have to sort out a turn of Trick Room here. I have to go for the Protect. That left Tatsugiri incredibly vulnerable. And look, in a best of 3 situation, or even best of 1 with open team sheets, that becomes a lot less risky because I know the Tatsugiri doesn't have Protect, right? And I can just go bomb, bomb, and take it out. My opponent may see that differently and go, okay, well, my Tatsugiri doesn't have Protect, so you probably double target it. And so I'm not going to Protect. And so you have a few more mind games there, but in that situation, there was enough pressure on my opponent to force him into the Protect. We did the right thing in taking out the Tatsugiri. And then, when he used Protect and I still have a turn of Trick Room left, that just makes that Glamora just so tasty. But yeah, I probably should have gone for Psychic into the Iron Moth as well. Because the Protect is really predictable. I double up on Glamora to take it out. And then... And then that leaves, like, my opponent knows, okay, well, he double target the Tatsugiri, he's probably going to double up into Glamora, so I'll get an attack off. Whereas if I just go Psychic into Iron Moth there, Iron Moth probably dies, and then it is game over from that point. So yeah, cool game. Let's jump into game 3. Okay, so it's against a really interesting team where my opponent's team has some slow Pokemon, they have some fast Pokemon. So Gastron and Kingambit both quite slow. Scarlet is about base 85, Rotom is in that speed tier as well, but then you have 2 really fast Pokemon in the Fluttermane plus the Talonflame. Scarlet is kind of awkward to deal with, so I kind of just need to hit it with powerful Psychic moves. The Kingambit is kind of awkward as well. It's not the easiest matchup, this. But I think I just go Armarouge plus Indeedee. I'll bring Torkoal in the back as a way of dealing with the Kingambit. And then I think... Do you go Kingambit here? Do you go Hatterene? My question is here, do I have enough to deal with the Scarlet? If Armourouge goes down, the answer to that is no. I mean, the positive thing here, though, is that Scarlet will not be able to go for Shadow Sneak, which is the primary ghost move they tend to run, with Psychic Terrain up. That makes me lean towards Hatterene, to be honest with you. Hatterene also has a bit of a better matchup going into that Gastrodon if I end up in that situation. So it's going to be the King Gambit plus the Scarlet. Now, neither of these Pokemon run any spread moves, so I'm quite happy here, I think, to just go Trick Room plus Follow Me. Yeah, I think we're okay to do that. Actually, should I just go on the offensive here? Should I do... You can't go for a Ghost move because it's Psychic Terrain, and I'm immune to Fire, so I'm not really scared of the Scarlet. Do I just take Armor Cannon into King Gambit and switch out into Torkoal? This is super ballsy. But I can't see King Gambit... I'm going to do this. And because if I remove King Gambit from the game, then Hatterene is in an amazing situation. On the following turn, I can just go Trick Room and Protect. And bringing in Torkoal here just helps me set the sun. Oh, my opponent's going to Terastallize. Is it going to be the King Gambit? I mean, they'll still take a hell of a lot of damage from this. Don't get me wrong. Oh, no, it's good. Okay. They are Terra Dark Scarlet, which makes my... it actually makes my... my Armourouge completely useless. They're running Night Slash. They're going into Torkoal. This is a super interesting first turn. They do make themselves weak to Hatterene, though, so that's fine. I don't really mind them doing this. King Gambit goes down to the huge Armor Cannon, so that's great. And I think in this situation, I now just need to get Torkoal back out. Torkoal doesn't really want to be in here. It's going to be... We really don't want to be in with Torkoal here. Torkoal's not good for this situation. So, if you have Night Slash, I have a defense drop, but I wonder if I can get a Trick Room up here with Armourouge and just set the game up for myself. Torkoal doesn't want to be in. And I think you just Earth Power into it, right? So I'll use this as an opportunity to get Indeedee in. I wonder if I just... Yeah, I think this is the play. Because I want to get Trick Room up, just so that Hatterene's in a better position. Because once Trick Room goes up, Hatterene kind of is just amazing. So we go for the Terra, just in case they go for Earth Power or Muddy Water or something. I want to be able to take the hit. I do expect him to click Night Slash into Armourouge, though. So... And I might go down to that, to be totally honest with you. I have a defense drop, so there's every chance I do just go down to it. There you go, Night Slash. Let's find out. No, we are able to tank it. Are we able to tank whatever the other thing wants to do? Yeah, they go for Earth Power into Indeedee, so that's fantastic for us. And Armourouge is able to go for the Trick Room. So in this situation, I'm actually just going to go Expanding Force, just to get some big damage off into the Gastrodon. And what's really important here is that I keep the option of Psychic Terrain on the table. So I'm going to bring Torkoal back in, because Hatterene is how I win this game. They end up switching out the Gastrodon here. Let's see what their fourth and final Pokemon is. It's going to be the Rotom. Rotom is not going to like this at all. Rotom is really not going to like this. It's not going to take an Expanding Force well. It might do probably 80%, I would imagine. As I bring Torkoal back in, who of course does threaten the Rotom as well, with being weak to fire and all that. Here we go with the Expanding Force for some massive damage. It comes so close to taking the knockout as he ends up just clicking the Night Slash and going into the Indeedee slot. Wow. So that's super interesting. It's kind of awkward here with Armourouge because I literally can't do anything, but I'm kind of happy for Armourouge to go down at this point. Like, I think he probably protects with Rotom. I'm just going to protect with Torkoal. Just so I just don't lose it. I mean, at this point, you know, it doesn't really matter. I just need to get Hatterene in the field. We end up taking out the Rotom with a Psychic. I probably should have just clicked Expanding Force in case the Gastrodon came back in, but it's fine. And we are expecting the Scarlet just to take out Armourouge, which is perfectly fine. I could have gone for a Clear Smog, yeah, but I'd rather just keep Torkoal alive. We have a few turns of Trick Room remaining, which is good for us. And we see the Scarlet is Life Orb as well. There's no way Scarlet is taking a Dazzling Gleam. Not a chance. And of course, we have Indeedee in the back to block a potential Shadow Sneak as well. I'm guessing he is Bitter Blade, Shadow Sneak, Night Slash, probably Bulk Up. There is 1 turn of Psychic Terrain remaining, 2 turns of Trick Room, so we are free to click Dazzling Gleam, and we're also free to click Flamethrower into the Gastrodon. Maybe we can get a burn for that little bit of chip. You know, that actually does so much damage. Oh my lord. Okay, we got a crit. That explains it. But Hack just clicks Dazzling Gleam. That will take out Cerulege. Almost takes out the Gastrodon as well. And at this point, my opponent is kind of in a situation where like, oh, alright, the offensive pressure has kind of done me over. And this should be game over at this point. Like, very, very comfortably. There's no way this Gastrodon is taking out Hatterene. And a Psychic under Psychic Terrain will take a knockout based on the damage from the Dazzling Gleam. Sunlight fades. Torkoal is still alive because we avoided the attack, and we literally just click Psychic and switch in Indeedee, and that is game over. And that is 3 for 3 with this team. So yeah, this team's really fun. It's much harder to play in best of 1. Well, not best of 1, but without open team sheets, because knowing where the protects are is incredibly, incredibly helpful. And I'm not gonna, yeah, because you want to be taking knockouts when you're in Trick Room. You want to cause as much havoc as possible in that first stage of Trick Room. If you're able to do that, then generally, even if Trick Room isn't down, you can finish up the game. Or if you've set the game up well for yourself, you can set up Trick Room the second time. But quite often, the back will just finish this game, as we saw there. I think we had 1 turn of Trick Room remaining. Okay, I took a little bit of risk of that first game, but in the end, it paid off. Getting that massive hit into King Gambit just meant that King Gambit wasn't able to sit there and threaten Hatterene in the end game. It wasn't able to sit there and threaten Sucker Punches once Psychic Terrain went down. It wasn't able to sit there and go for things like, you know, Cowtail Cleaves into Armourouge. So, and while Trick Room was up, or while Trick Room wasn't up, I should say, just being able to get that big hit off was great. Look, could my opponent have gone for a Night Slash into the Armourouge? Yeah, but Follow Me plus Trick Room is such an obvious play there that I kind of didn't think they would do it. It would probably have been safer for me to have just Terastallized on that first turn. That way, even if he did go for the Night Slash, I still live it. I take out the King Gambit regardless, and the game plays out as it would have done otherwise. So, yeah, really cool 3 games. Give the team a try. Obviously, I don't have my... You can't throw it in-game straight away, but you can give it a go on Showdown. Because I'm not going to be providing a rental code for this because I'm still playing with EBs and stuff. And in case I want to take it to another tournament and stuff, I don't want all the spreads to be out there on the internet. But you've got the moves, you've got the Pokemon, you've got the items, you've got the abilities, etc, etc, etc. You kind of see how the game plays. I know we didn't get to bring Crocodile, but the matchup wasn't really there for it. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.